Welcome back to another episode. Today is going to be a little bit different. Today, I am extremely excited because we're starting our first movie series review the full way through. I know we did Rocky 1, and I intend to get around to Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, and Rocky 5 eventually, but as it stands right now, this is our first film series. And we're going to be starting A Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, I think this series has been a big part of a lot of our childhoods. I used to have them on DVD in the 2010s, and I think my first time watching it was 2014, and it's a classic. Compared to the rest, I know Freddy gets the whole, oh, he's kind of a funny, kind of jokey character. He's not very, joking around in the first one, in this one, because he's very, the lighting's dark, they don't ever put him in light and stuff, and let's do a little bit of backstory. So, the movie was directed by Wes Craven, who is one of the best horror directors. He made Hills Have Eyes, Scream, and had some parts to do with the first, 1 and 3 in the Nightmare franchise. And rest in peace, Wes. I mean, this is such a great idea for a horror film. Like, if you think about it, by 1984, when this movie came out, the horror slasher genre was like guys with a mask that kill, Jason or Michael. So to have this character that talks, invades your dreams and kills you, and if you die in dreams, you die in real life. It's such an interesting concept, and he really he hit this one out of the park. Of course, Freddy Krueger is played by Robert Englund, who's a big part of this franchise success. Because, again, I've said this. I know a lot of people want a new Nightmare movie. I just don't think it can happen. As much as it'd be kind of an interesting thing to see a new one in theaters, I cannot see anybody in the Freddy makeup besides Robert. I think it's best, you let the character rest, go rest. He ran his course. Freddy's one of the top 3 horror icons of all time, if you ask me. And it's time for him to be a memory. It's all of us just to watch back on the first. All the movies besides the remake. I know Freddy's Dead is bad, but the remake is worse. But no matter if they bring it back or not, there's enough here to leave a legacy for Freddy. And thank you, Robert, for playing this icon of my childhood who I grew up on, and many people did too. This icon that was on our TVs on the horror marathons in October for Halloween and all that. And one last credit to acting. Heather Langenkamp plays Nancy, and she's really good. She's a big part of this movie's success too. She's my favorite final girl, the best. I know a lot of people like Laurie Strode, but I'd say Nancy is the way she fights back against Freddy, all the traps at the end of this movie, and the booby traps and this, and Johnny Depp was also, and I think this was one of his first acting roles. I think he was 20 when this movie came out. So, we've talked about the actors enough. Let's get into the movie. So, the movie notoriously does a fake switch, where you think it's gonna follow the girl Tina. It's gonna follow her she's a protagonist. Kind of like Psycho. It breaks your expectations whenever. I don't know the exact timestamp, but 20 minutes into the movie, she's killed by Freddy in one of the best kills. I think in real life they used a rotating room to make it happen by pulling the ropes in the room and rotating stuff. But Freddy drags her on the ceiling, cuts her chest. It's one of the more iconic scenes. It's one of the most iconic scenes besides the Johnny Depp bed geyser the blood geyser. But that's later on in the movie. And then after Tina's death, it's revealed that Nancy is the protagonist. And we get exposition from the mother, Nancy's mother. It's we burned him alive. He hurt, she still had Freddy's glove. I don't remember if it was revealed in this movie or the next one that Freddy's glove was still in the basement, but. So Nancy, she pulls apart of Freddy's fabric out during a dream. So she gets the idea you can bring stuff through the dream. Well, anyways, Glenn is supposed to be the one like be there, but he falls asleep, and we'll talk about his death in a minute. But so Glenn dies because he falls asleep in his bed, and then he like sucks into this hole in his bed. They like all it comes out is a blood geyser and stuff. This is another practical effect, no CGI, amazing. I just love these old practical effects, I really do. It's just so much more heart. But Nancy, she gets the idea to pull something back out into the real world, and knowing that Freddy's a lot more like, because I know I probably skipped over, but there's the bathtub scene, which is another one of the iconic scenes where she's taking a bath and he reaches up and tries to drown her, but she survives, and Freddy tries to drown her and she survives, but she pulls Freddy into the real world where his power is less, sets up like a sledgehammer to hit him, and lights him on fire, and then at the end she beats him by turning her back on him. You know, I'm not scared of you, I know who you are. And then he turns minuscule. And now there's also an optional post-credit scene where it's her mother getting dragged to the window. Her mother gets burned alive because Freddy, when he's on fire, runs up there, but kills her mother, or invades her dream and kills her. But at the end, they do this fake out ending where all the people that died, Rod, Tina, Glenn, and they like come back alive, and them and Nancy, they drive down the road, and then while like Nancy's mother's waving, Freddy comes through the window and pulls her back. Now I've heard that that's not what Wes Craven wanted. He did not want that ending at all, but the studio executives at New Line wanted him to because set up for a sequel. So, and we will cover that sequel tomorrow, which is very tone-wise different from this movie. Now, how does this movie rank? On a level, it's number 2 for me in the series. It like goes back and forth between 1 and 2 because I love this movie and Dream Warriors a lot. I love everything about Dream Warriors, and if there's any movie I'd say you watch if you want because the thing with Dream Warriors is, this is gonna I know it's a lot of topic. Dream Warriors is it's got some comedy aspects. Freddy says some one-liners, but it's still scary, has horror to it. Once you get to Dream Master, the 4th one, and then you get to Dream Child especially, it becomes it goes off the rail. Dream Master is still a good movie, I think, but then after that, just the comedy takes it over, and it's just it's terrible. And that's why I think 5 and Freddy's Dead are some of the worst pieces of horror, especially Freddy's Dead. But then even Dream Child it's abysmal too. Then you get a really great movie in New Nightmare, and then Freddy vs. Jason is kind of a fun, campy. It's a crossover movie. It's fun, and then you get the Nightmare remake, which is terrible. Well, when I said earlier that nobody else besides Robert Englund can play Freddy Krueger, I kind of believe that because Jackie Earle Haley, I don't think he's a bad actor, but he just did not play a good Freddy. And the movie is just forgettable characters, and that's the last thing I'll say. The reason why Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 lives on like it does, not only because Robert Englund's acting, but the characters. Like I said earlier, Heather Langenkamp as Nancy, she does really good. And then even the actors and actresses for her friends, they do a good job. The characters are likable and memorable. I remember their names, and that's good. I don't even think I can remember one person's name besides, I think, in the remake they use Nancy's name for the main character, except different last name for some reason. It's just weird. But for this movie being a classic, and I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. Thank you, Wes Craven. You were gone but not forgotten. Rest in peace. And thank you for giving us this classic and all the other classics. You truly were a really great person and a great director. I'll see you guys in the next episode where we watch A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Love you guys. Stay blessed.